Okay. Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
Amber.
Amber is here today.
Who?
Who?
Amber's here.
Salcedo.
Amber Salcedo from Compliance is with us today.
She rolled in claiming to have no beer knowledge.
None.
I love this.
So we'll see what happens.
This is fantastic. Okay, Crane Brewing Company out of Raytown, Missouri.
Yeah, Raytown.
Introduce me to this beer.
Well, this beer specifically, it is a Berliner Weiss style. At least that's the baseline, so we know what that is kind of about.
Okay.
A little bit sour, a little bit tart, light and low in ABV, so maybe 4.5%, I would guess, somewhere in there.
4.5 is what it says.
Oh, man, I'm good at this. This one's got some Christmassy flavors to it. Mm-hmm. I think it's cranberry and maybe some ginger,
Okay.
I think is what we're going to be experimenting with. I have had this one in my cellar since last Christmas.
Oh.
I wanted to kind of tame it down a little bit
Okay.
and see what happens. So
This sounds right up my alley.
this is where we're gonna get into this. The brewery itself, Raytown, was just on the outskirts of KC, just like one of those many suburban areas around the town center. But oh yeah, look at that, nice.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you a little knowledge on the, and there's not a whole lot online about them. So, Crane Brewing, Raytown, Missouri. Let's see. They just opened a new tap room in 2016. So, have you been to the new one or the old one?
There was only one.
Okay.
And it was that place that was being opened. So it was under construction when I was there. It wasn't even technically open to the public yet.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. They do a lot of sours? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of their thing.
Sours are their thing, yes.
Okay.
Mostly just dry hops and IPAs. They do those too.
They do those too. Okay. Oh, there you go. So this one is called
Thank you.
Festiweiss.
Festiweiss. Yeah.
For
So a festive Berliner Weiss.
Festive Berliner Weiss. I think the one fun part, takeaway on this, was all of their packaging features origami.
Yes.
That's cool.
Oh, every bit of it is.
And that crane logo on the side, the green crane, that's on every one of their bottles.
Yep.
The labels, I think, are pretty smart looking. But they all have different colors and things in the background. But the green crane itself is on every bottle.
Is on every one. All right, so let's get into this. The Crane Brewing Company. That's a sour.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
She didn't spit it out.
Not
No.
yet. No.
Not yet.
So here's the thing I've learned with sours, and Brian, you can help me with this. Is it takes three drinks, right? The first one you're like,
It's a shock the first time.
yeah,
usually,
like no, I should not be drinking this. This
Very.
is something's wrong with it. It's bad, or whatever. The second one it mellows out a little bit. The third one, then you get into it. You're like, oh, I could order this again.
Or hate it forever. I mean, by then you'll be cemented maybe in your thinking.
There's only been a handful of them. Like, no, I'm never gonna get that again.
Yeah.
Never. And they are over the top sour.
Right.
So there you go. Okay, so founded by Michael Crane and Chris Myers. Michael Crane was it's funny, the website is sort of makes fun of him for being a lightweight.
Yeah.
He liked low ABV
That's
beers.
why all the beers are low.
Are low? Is that legit? Like, that's why?
Yeah. And he doesn't hardly drink very often. From what I remember when he gave us the tour, he's not like one of those daily drinker brewery guys. He's kind of a special occasion drinker even. So even then he's lightweight on that in that respect. And
then Chris Myers was he's not from Missouri, moved to Missouri, and then worked for, I want to say he worked for, Boulevard.
Boulevard?
Yes, he worked for Boulevard. And I could be confusing him with the head brewmaster, I'm not sure. But he has a biology, like a chemist degree. Mm-hmm. And so that's how the two of them got hooked up through like a home brewers club.
Yeah, that guy that started this brewery, he's the one that was making the Beat beer. Have I told you about this Beat beer?
Yep.
And it won like a bunch of regional awards, homebrew, like beer of the year sort of stuff. And it was one of those things where the homebrew guys all told him, like, you should make this, for a living or whatever. It's so good. And that was one of the first beers that he made.
And there you go. So Tap House is open. It's closed on Mondays, open Tuesday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, 2 to 10. Saturday, noon to 10. Sunday 11 to 4, and then they have tours daily at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, all right. So then, what kind of research did you do for
So
sour? Did
the
you do
research,
sours?
I didn't. I did. Kind of went with the main ingredient for me, which is ginger. That's what I get a lot of.
A lot.
And that's probably because I'm not a big ginger person, so that's what I'm tasting. So I did research on ginger itself, and then I also did some ginger-related things like ginger beer.
Okay.
So we'll do a little bit of that first. It's a flowering plant. It's in the same family as turmeric or cardamom. Okay. So it technically is a spice like that. It was initially growing in the rainforests of India, and that's still where most of it is grown and harvested, I guess you'd say.
Most ginger ginger in the stores that we would buy now is from India.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
They make probably like 75% of the ginger.
Oh.
And then Nigeria is second, which you probably weren't going to guess.
No.
And then China is third as far as who makes ginger.
I would have guessed China at least in the top 5.
So we talked last time about pecans or pecans and how that was 4.8 million tons or whatever was the harvest. This one is 3.3 million in a year. It's like how much of tons, which that seems like a lot of ginger.
That's
to
a
me.
lot of
And you go
ginger.
get your sushi and it's, pickled paper thin cuts. That's a lot of ginger.
That's a lot of ginger. Amber, is it pecan or pecan?
I say pecan.
Okay, there we go. So
She's right.
She's right. Right,
She
exactly.
can stay.
Oh.
People have been using this for a long time for like home remedies, medical stuff. It's used to alleviate nausea. Still currently, for people that are in chemo, they'll prescribe people just to eat ginger. It's supposed to be good for that.
Okay.
And then the other part about this thing that I was kind of digging into deeply, because I'm just not a ginger person or ginger ale, like that's just never appealed to me. But I wanted to know about ginger beer.
Okay.
Because I do know if you are going out socially in a bar or a restaurant, you're with some people that aren't drinking beer. A lot of times they're going to order a Moscow Mule, right?
Yes,
like
yes.
that's a hot thing. And at least the last 10 years, that's very popular. The
Yep.
copper cup and all that.
Yep.
And the base thing that they're using in that is ginger beer. Ginger beer is naturally sweetened and carbonated, which makes it a soda pop or like a soda.
Okay.
It used to be brewed 1700s all the way up to 1900s or so. Had alcohol, it was fermented, so it had alcohol. Some of it was up to 11%.
Whoa.
The stuff that was most popular ended up being in England about 2%, and that was like pretty standard. And then now it's 0.05%. So there is technically a little bit, but it's like can't even really trace it.
But nothing. So it's like a kombucha kind of.
Basically, yeah.
Yes. Not that it's the same, but same alcohol content.
Yeah, and it's similar to a root beer. I mean, you used to be able to brew it. Like, that's how you make root beer the same way. Now it is created, basically. It's not brewed, it's just made. So that's the difference there. And then ginger beer versus ginger ale. The difference is ginger beer will taste like more, if that makes sense, more spicy, there'll be more ginger impact into it because that's it just has more of that ingredient. So ginger ale is like a watered down ginger beer.
Okay.
And they're very popular in England. They still are very popular in England. There's a brand that you'll see around here called Krabby's. That's like the number one brand over in Europe. If you're going to drink one, that's usually what you'll get.
Okay.
But it's very popular in places that Britain used to take care of or colonized.
Yep.
So they were in India, got the stuff, right? Brought it back to England,
Okay.
made all these ginger beers. Same with like some of the islands, Jamaica, the Caribbean islands, any place that they were there. Ginger is something that people are drinking all the time. And in Africa, it's like Coca-Cola makes a ginger Coke that's like the number one seller in the continent of Africa.
Really?
Yeah, which they don't even have it here.
That sounds weird. I don't know about that.
I wouldn't want to have it, but somebody does.
But we're drinking it right now in a beer, though.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not that far off.
So this thing tastes really bubbly and carbonated, almost like a champagne,
A little bit.
which I don't mind. It's kind of tickly.
There's some floaties in there, though. I mean, have you noticed? It's for a sour. It's murky.
Yeah, that it is.
I'm not complaining.
No.
This is my style right here.
Good.
If I had to choose, so if I go to a brewery and I look through their menu, I instantly scan down. If they have a sour, that's the first thing I order.
Okay. So
Always.
that's default mint for you.
Always
Just
default.
getting
Yes,
it.
always. Dolan gets a lot of emails. Have you heard, are you hearing this over here?
Yeah, I
Can you
have.
please turn that off?
Can you see? There it is again.
He did that on purpose, I'm pretty sure,
He
guys.
totally did.
He emailed himself from his phone. I saw that. There he goes again. What is going on here?
He turned my microphone off for a second. He was really mad at me.
Yeah, he didn't want you calling him out in front of everybody. Usually it's about the drinking.
Normally,
This time it's about emails.
he gave up drinking for Christmas.
Oh, did he?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way he was going to make it that long.
Can't believe you believed me there. So
I almost did. Then I remembered who we were talking about.
Exactly.
And I was like, nope,
Yes.
that didn't happen.
yep.
So let's get into this because this is Christmas season. It's a Christmas beer. I don't know. Is ginger and cranberry like a Christmas staple in your house? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
My wife does not like ginger one bit,
Right.
but I do. I appreciate ginger in stuff.
What would you consume it with besides sushi? I've seen it there.
That
main
sushi,
place?
any kind of like, I mean, you'll get it a lot in Chinese food. Like that's,
Okay.
you'll get that. Anything that calls for ginger, like any kind of spiced Christmas food. Like I don't want to say what's the why can't I think of it? The loaf, the
Fruitcake.
Fruitcake. There we go. There we go. Fruitcake, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I enjoy a decent fruitcake,
Okay.
and that'll have some ginger in it.
You might be the only person that I've ever encountered that.
There's like 6 of us.
Okay.
Yeah,
They keep the whole fruitcake
maybe.
machine running every Christmas.
Yeah.
You get
There-
one and you're good.
Yeah, there was 7. One of us passed away not too long ago.
It's too bad for
it-
old Herb.
Hurt the fruitcake industry pretty
Yeah.
bad. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Here's what I was wondering about: gingerbread, right? Cookies and stuff. I
Yep.
assume it has to be in there as in the title, right?
Absolutely.
I guess that's probably why I don't like gingerbread.
Ginger snaps.
That's a cookie. It
The
sounds
cookies, yes.
Okay.
I just love cookies.
Like. I'm a fan.
I love cookies. I
Yeah.
love to bake. So
Yeah.
You ever use ginger?
it depends on the cookie.
Could
guess it
you
would on
make
the
us
recipe.
some ginger cookies?
Yeah.
Would it
Done.
sway us? You know
Done.
what would be pretty good? We could probably do like a ginger cookie.
Yeah.
And like a stout, like a pairing.
Okay.
That'd probably be pretty good
We could do that.
All
Amber
right.
could come back, and then we could have the pairing.
with ginger cookies.
Yep.
And I'll get the beer, and
Sounds-
we'll see what's what.
Deal.
Sounds fantastic.
All right, here's some Christmassy stuff. So we're gonna break out here, and I'm gonna pick your brains because Christmas, as we know, this is my jam. This is my
my
time of
favorite.
year. Is
Yes.
it?
Yes.
It's your favorite. Oh, so okay. You have to bring your A game, Rich.
Okay.
Pour yourself some more of that. It's a big bottle, man.
I definitely am.
Okay, tell me about. So this is like your reactions, reflections, any remembrances that you have of these certain areas or things that I'm going to talk about, and then we'll get into either or. It's like a pick list later on. But
Gotcha.
So right now, tell me the first thing that comes to mind for you with the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Snoopy.
The tree.
Yeah.
The tree, definitely.
I got that on my desk
You
right now.
do have
guys.
it on your desk.
My kid the other day told me, because I have this. I'm old enough now that I have everything on like multiple layers of media. So I have it on VHS. I have it on DVD.
Okay.
I have it on Blu-ray. I asked my son the other day, I said, hey, Oscar, can we watch the Charlie, because he's in charge. Can we watch the Charlie Brown Christmas movie? And he said, Dad, it's boring. What? And I was like, first of all, you're not wrong.
It's the best.
But I'm 40 and you're 2.
Yes.
I didn't watch it. I can tell you that, guys. I did not get to see it yet.
Yeah.
But I will. I'll sneak it in. I listen to it. So,
You still own a VCR?
yeah, for sure. You
Can't
never know. You never know when you're going to need to watch Pocahontas on a
Sadly,
VHS
This
tape.
is true.
I do too. Yeah. I just saw it the other day.
Isn't that
The
weird?
remote's long gone, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Half the time they didn't
Buttons
work anyway.
still work on it.
Oh,
so-
the button still works, so
Yeah,
you're fine.
that's all that
Yes.
matters.
Yeah.
That's when they made stuff the right way.
Yeah.
We're
I-
30 years later.
So have I ever told you the Charlie Brown Christmas song? Have I the story about this?
No, let's hear it.
So one of the very first hospital visits I went on when I was a client manager years ago, right? So 15 years ago, we had to fly into Little Rock, and then we drove to this little town called Greenville, Mississippi. That was my first contract, and coming back into Little Rock, there was, and this wasn't even close to Christmas, but he was playing. There was a guy there playing. He had his little case out for money, and he was playing on his keyboard, and he played all he knew was the Charlie Brown song, right?
Oh, Linus and Lucy, it's called, yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and our flight was delayed, and we kept walking by this guy, and that's all he was playing, for real. And then, so, it was me and a girl, Tara. Do you remember Tara? Okay, so Tara's with us, or with me, and we're sitting there waiting, and he just keeps playing it over and over and over again, and then he stops, and he goes on break, and he goes to the bathroom, and he comes back, and Tara gives me $1. She's like, hey, go ask him if he knows the Charlie Brown song. I'm like, all right, I'll do that. So I take $1 and I drop it in there. He's like, hey, what do you want to hear? And I said, could you play this Charlie Brown song? He's like, hell yeah, I can. Dun, 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 dun. And then you see like 3 people over, like sitting off to the side, roll their eyes, like,
They're like, yeah, why'd you do that? That's good stuff.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
How about this one? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
The dad hanging from the roof.
Yeah.
Totally.
The shitter's full.
The shitter's full, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many. That's like one of those endlessly quotable movies, especially for people in our age range. You know, like
Absolutely.
You saw. I guarantee you this is true. I saw it in the theater 13 times.
Really?
Yeah, because it was PG-13, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't old enough to see our movies. I lived about 3 blocks from the movie theater.
Okay.
On Christmas break, my mom didn't want to see me. Here's a couple bucks. Go to the movies, man. So I saw that in Wayne's World like every other day. So I've seen that movie a lot of times.
Yep.
I just saw something yesterday or 2 days ago on the internets where somebody had set up a display at their house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the guy hanging on the gutter, and they thought it was a real guy, and they called the cops and stuff.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
I love it. And I have definitely also stapled something of mine to something I was working on with a staple gun. So I've done that before.
Awesome.
And Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in there.
Yes.
Oh, man.
It's a great cast.
Super great. Juliette Lewis is in that.
Mm-hmm.
The kid from, what's his name? He's on the CBS show. He plays Rusty in that, but he grows up to be... he was on Roseanne for a while. He's on
the
the
Big Bang
Nerd
Theory.
Show. Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
He's the kid in that.
He was Rusty?
Yeah. In that version, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty good stuff. How about this? The best or worst present you got as a kid?
A sweater.
Oh, that was a sweater.
How many episodes have we gone without someone saying the F word?
One.
None? No.
It was today.
It was today. I was today years old.
Compliance.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you,
Leave it to
compliance.
us.
How strong is this beer?
I know, right? You still have to pick your kids up. Slow down.
Tell us
I
about. It's only 4%. Don't worry. Tell us about the sweater. How bad? I mean, that was
must have been
obviously
bad.
a gut reaction.
Yeah.
I was never a sweater person as a kid. Didn't like long sleeves. I hated them.
Too
And
restrictive.
it was beige, so it just, I don't know. It just wasn't me.
Did you just like rip it open and throw it on the ground?
Never
or
wore it.
Never wore
Stayed
it.
in the closet.
Did you fake them out and be like, oh, thanks,
I love
Granny.
it, Mom. Thanks.
Oh,
It was my mom and dad. Yeah.
No, we're gonna find out now.
It'd have been even better if it was her husband. He got it last year
Yeah,
for
like
Christmas.
Still haven't seen you wear that.
Hey, where's that at?
I sold it.
Oh man, for nothing, just
Yeah.
to get out of the house.
I don't remember any bad presents. I remember Nintendo. When we got our Nintendo.
Me too.
That was the best ever.
I was with my sister, my little sister, and we got it as the group gift, tandem. We both had to share it, and we were on visiting my grandparents on the farm, and there was no way we were hooking it up to the old wooden box TV.
No, right.
So they had a 10-inch black and white that we hooked it up to,
Yes.
and we loved it. We played Mario forever. We were terrible at it. No one that I knew had it, so I'd never even seen how. I just knew about it.
Yeah.
And I was never happier than playing that 10-inch black and white TV in like 1988.
Yeah, that was
So
the
good.
best. Oh, that was the best. Yeah, I'll never forget that Christmas.
What about Christmas Eve traditions? Anything that you guys have to do on Christmas Eve, whether it's something you eat or make or leave for Santa or anything like that?
The kids leave cookies and milk, and then between my husband and I, we have Santa. We stay up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and have Santa come in through the fireplace, put footsteps and baby powder, and we YouTube it and have ho 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 Santa. Oops,
Holy
saying
cow.
yeah, we go all out for the kids.
And then when the kids get up at 3:30, you're really tired.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm so used
lot
to
of
it.
work.
Kids are spoiled.
See, well,
know.
that's true. They are at my house too.
That's a lot of work.
What about you? Anything?
So this is the dumbest ever, but as the kids have gotten older, right? Riley's 19, Scarlett's 16, and then other family members have gotten older. The Christmas Eve thing has kind of trailed off a little bit. So it's myself and Jenny and Maddox, our 9-year-old, and then Jenny's mom, and we go to the Olive Garden on Christmas Eve. After we go to church, go to Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve church, then go to the Olive Garden and have some never-ending pasta, and
It's the best.
that's about it.
Load
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Get ready for the next day.
I drink a bunch of wine, and then Jenny has to drive home.
It's just an unspoken thing.
Absolutely.
Rich is going to have wine and you're driving home. That's Christmas Eve.
That's
man.
Christmas Eve.
So how come the Olive Garden was like
don't know.
Applebee's too busy that one year and you just, here we are? Or
Have you eaten at Applebee's lately?
no?
They're not.
It's terrible.
That's probably why.
It's probably
the
why.
fries. Okay.
I don't know. It's just close. I mean, to where we live out there.
Okay.
I mean, it's just central. And we went one year and like, yeah, screw it. We're gonna do this.
This
every
is
year
it. Tradition.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about traditions. They can be anything.
They can be anything.
All right. Hot takes on these. Hot chocolate or eggnog?
Hot chocolate.
Eggnog.
Really?
Totally.
It kind of surprises me a little
And
bit.
I cannot tolerate lactose, so you don't want to be
You're
around.
dangerous.
Oh.
Dangerous.
This is a terrible holiday for you. Wow.
Yes. After I
Eggnog.
get all drunked up on wine at the
Then
Olive
you just
Garden.
be like, you know what? Hands up in the air. Let's just drink some eggnog. We
Totally.
don't care.
Totally.
The boozy kind or just plain old?
Any.
Island.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either. Yeah.
All right.
Either.
Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph?
Frosty.
Frosty.
Are you serious?
Totally.
Dolan, is this real life? Frosty the Snowman?
Still real life.
Did you watch? Dolan? Did you watch these?
I watched Rudolph.
That's right. And you know why? You know why Rudolph is ultimately better? The songs. They're
Oh, please.
singable songs with actual characters that aren't Rudolph, right? So there's like a subset of characters. There's B and C characters in a 30-minute special. Frosty's like nothing. And his whole story is in about a half an hour of the whole day, and he's melted and he's gone.
Don't
That's it.
disparage Frosty. That's not a. That's.
That's not
I can't
fair.
believe
There's a
you
good
guys.
message at the end, and
There's a good message at Rudolph too.
I guess
You know what it is? Be like everybody else.
that's not
Unless,
a
what? That's not a good
good.
message.
Be like everybody else. That's
Oh,
a terrible message.
Just
Be
just
yourself.
Work hard.
That's a better message.
Oh, I've been looking at it all wrong. How about this one? Elf or Home Alone?
Oh, that's hard. I grew up on Home Alone.
Yeah, that's tough. Is Home Alone a Christmas movie?
Heck yeah, it is. It's way more than Die Hard.
No, shut your mouth.
No way.
We are done. Turn off that thing.
Turn off his mic, Dolan.
Turn it off. What?
Yeah.
Die
no.
Hard is such a Christmas
No.
movie.
Christmas is just happening in the background.
No,
That's not
no.
the feature of the film.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Elf.
Okay.
Yeah,
And just cause?
just cause.
I think I like Home Alone because it has all that gratuitous violence, but it's and like there's no blood or bones sticking out or anything. But
Sure.
it's hilarious. You know what's gonna happen, and it makes me laugh every time.
Did you see that? There's a while back they did some doctor or something did some sort of write up on what would have happened if those things actually happened to a person. Like, and they're like, okay, the person would have been dead after the second one. Like they would have been dead.
Oh yeah,
So
I could see that totally.
completely unrealistic.
Just the falling on the steps,
Yeah.
like breaking your neck.
The paint can to the head.
Yeah, break your nose and push it right into your brain.
That-
The 3rd-degree burns on his
Yeah,
head.
and a hand. Remember when he goes for the doorknob? And it's like
Yes.
The
sizzly.
kid was pretty smart, though. I'll give him
Hell
that.
yeah, he was. One of the great unsung things about that, and you'll remember this: the micro machines.
Yes.
You can't even find those anymore.
No, you can't find those.
I had them when I was a kid. I wish I still had them.
Probably because kids swallowed them and
They were
they couldn't
they were
produce
small
them anymore.
Yeah. The Grinch. Which version do you prefer?
The one with
Because-
Jim Carrey.
Okay, you're going with that.
The one that just came out in theaters. I went and saw and I fell asleep. So
I didn't mind the new one. I thought the new one was okay.
So you stayed awake.
I did. Yeah.
That seems to be the bar here on this film.
I
I fell
guess.
asleep and I stayed awake. I saw it also. I thought it was pretty all right.
It was pretty all right.
Yeah, I mean it passed.
Danny Elfman did the music for it. Like it was,
He's legit.
yeah. Maddox loved it. He loved it.
So
But
that
he'll
was a
watch
win
any.
for you.
Yeah.
I'm going original because that's what I grew up
Yeah.
with. The Dr. Seuss one, and that's like my son's favorite thing. So we read that book, 2 times a day.
At least.
He has almost the whole thing memorized, the book. So I don't even have. I just start the sentences and I let him finish. It's like a half read for me.
he's reading to Dad.
Kind of. It's just memorized, but I don't have to do the work, so I'll let him have that.
That's good.
We kind of touched on this earlier with your ginger snaps, but what's your go-to Christmas cookie since you're the baker here?
I usually, at Christmas time, I do oatmeal raisin.
Ooh, really?
Ooh, you're like,
I'd still eat them, but
I would. I don't. Well, no, I wouldn't. You know why? Dolan knows why. Raisins.
raisins.
What?
Raisins.
What do you got against raisins?
Well, first of all, they're wrinkly and gross. So that's number one. They're not a flavor of them. I think also it was too many times getting the sun-made raisins for Halloween as a trick-or-treat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was junk. Just throw those away.
Yeah.
And then being with someone like your mom or even with the daycare that I went to as a kid, like emphasizing healthy eating. Like, I don't want this.
I'm a
No,
kid.
give me candy and not
Right.
raisins. Craisins.
Craisins.
Yeah. you
No,
ever had
see,
a craisin?
see that you just can't just dry a fruit, and that's no,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
no.
What about those cookies that you put the chocolate that's kind of like melted in the middle?
Oh,
You know
I
what I'm talking
tried
about?
making those at one time, and I put the chocolate on too soon, and it just kind of like looked like poop on top.
Oh man,
Again, still would have ate them.
Rich would ate it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you have any cookie disasters or they just don't look good, bring them in and we'll
Yeah.
take care of those.
Yeah,
for
we'll
you.
take care of those for you. Don't throw them away. That's wasteful.
Let's see. I got anything else? Oh, Christmas music, right? So I, as you guys may or may not know, I like music, and I have now 4 different Christmas playlists on Spotify that I have. The first one I curated has like 13,000 songs, and it maxed out Spotify's limit, right?
What?
So I had to build another one, and then I have our Atlas one, which is like it's about 350 songs.
Wow.
But it's some classic songs off the most classic Christmas albums, and then there's new stuff on there, trying to appeal to the largest fan base that we could of the people that would maybe listen to it. So
Sure.
my question is, first of all, am I crazy to listen to Christmas music all year round? Second question is, if you had to listen to Christmas music, maybe for an hour, what are you going with?
Oh God, I don't even know. I
Just-
like the kid songs the best. So I mean,
Like kids bop versions of Christmas songs?
just like growing up in elementary school, and when we would sing those Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer songs, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell.
No, did you notice that they didn't say the Frosty song, Dolan? They
Oh.
said Rudolph.
I'm
Just saying.
I'm thinking Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
He's Jewish. That would be Hanukkah. Are you Jewish, Dolan?
No.
Okay,
He just likes that song.
that's fine. Okay.
What about you, Rich?
This is easy. This is the easiest question you've ever answered me. It's not Christmas until Elvis says it's Christmas.
Oh,
Blue Christmas, Elvis, 100%.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I will agree with you there.
Instantly, like as soon as Thanksgiving dinner is done, it is perfectly acceptable to turn
Yes.
on Elvis Christmas.
Just have the needle ready. Last scoop of taters. Drop the needle.
Go. Blue Christmas.
Elvis. The lip curls up.
Oh.
It's Christmas time.
It's
I could see Rich there
absolutely
trying to do the dance moves.
Oh, without a doubt.
That would be good.
That's it. That goes way back for me though. Like when we would decorate the house, we had a record player and we had the Elvis, with the wreath, and Elvis was in the middle of the wreath.
I have that
right?
record, yeah.
Yeah. That
They're,
was.
you know what? Surprisingly, they're hard to find. Christmas records.
Really?
I think people just always kept them.
Yeah.
Because the styles of Christmas records in general don't change. Like
Right.
standard songs that everybody's done before. But people that get rid of records or sell records, like they don't seem to get rid of those. So
Yeah.
whenever I find one, I buy it. So I have a pretty healthy Christmas record collection too.
Interesting.
Surprising to no one here at the table.
I didn't know you liked music.
Really? Well, we finally learned something after about 20 episodes.
Did you? Okay. Did you know this?
Okay.
So there was a Star Wars Christmas album.
Yeah.
Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
Christmas
know
in the Stars.
Christmas? Man, that's awesome. No
Yeah,
wonder we're
man.
friends. This is
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, can you tell me what like modern rock like singer was on that album for the first time?
Modern rock?
Modern rock.
We're talking modern rock in the late 70s? Or
No, 80s,
Oh,
80s,
80s?
90s, up to today.
They're still around? No,
Still
I have no
around.
idea.
So one of the songs on there was "What do you buy a Wookiee for Christmas?"
Christmas, yeah.
When he already has a comb, right?
I mean,
that
as you will, yeah.
was Jon Bon Jovi.
Really?
He
Was
goes
that-
by Jon Bon Jovi.
Which is the original
Yep.
spelling, right?
Yep. but he sings on the Star Wars Christmas album.
Huh. So is he the reason you can't get it now?
Pretty much.
He said, no thanks.
That and it's just a weird cult.
Well, the
thing.
special is special to me because B. Arthur's in it, and she's in the
yes.
Golden Girls, and that's my girl. So
Yep.
that's why I know about it.
That was horrible.
Yeah, there's a reason you can't. George Lucas was like, no, don't put this anywhere.
Oh, it was terrible. But
That's why you have the VHS player, Rich.
Yes.
Just tape it, and then you've always got it.
I sadly still have a VHS of that. So
See? I knew it.
yeah, if you want to borrow it, you can.
All right, cool. New Christmas Eve tradition.
It's all worth it for the Boba Fett cartoon at the end.
Okay.
Totally worth it.
There you go. You heard it from Rich.
Boom.
That's all I got, guys.
All right.
Amber,
I'm
you
good.
drank the beer at least.
I did. It was decent at the end.
It was decent at the end.
After the third, like Rich said.
Yes.
Yep.
That's good, see?
Well, I love introducing new styles too.
Yeah, I know this for a fact. Like, you're not just going to go down the street. This is going to be on tap anywhere. I mean, they're just this really small batch place, so
Yeah.
it's hard to even find these, so I'm glad we got it.
Crane has done some.
Really
They've done some. What do they call it? The collaborations here
Yep.
locally with a couple breweries in Omaha.
Along with Cross Train.
Yes, they did. Yep.
I had their beer. I went to a beer fest, surprisingly, this last weekend, a Christmas beer fest.
You never go to those.
I know, right? And one of the top 3 beers I had was from Crane.
Mm-hmm.
It was an apple pie spiced Christmas beer, and it had ginger. It did have some ginger in it, but it was mostly cinnamon and apple. And this thing was amazing. And I
Really?
looked all over for it to buy it, and I couldn't find one. So
No dice.
I'm going with the second best from them for them.
I like this one a lot. So awesome. Well, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you
Normally, I would just say bah humbug.
normally.
That's what I like to go with. But
Yes.
happy holidays for this one.
With all of the Christmas stuff on your desk, you're definitely a Baja mug type.
I
of
do.
guy.
I do have the Krampus on my desk.
You
too.
do. That was yesterday, actually. No, I'm sorry. It was on December 5th. Was Krampus Day or whatever, where men would dress like Krampus and run through town and hit delinquent kids with 2x4s or
Sticks,
or whatever.
Yep.
And, like that was a thing. That was a legit thing.
It still is a thing in Germany in some places.
Is it?
Really?
Yeah. They have a parade every year, and people train because you have to make your own costume, right?
Okay.
And so you have to like basically train, and then your training is walking this parade route, and you have to make kids scream. I think it's three or 5 kids, and the other people that are in the parade are watching you. So you're like basically an apprentice Krampus until you're done with the parade. And if you make enough kids scream or cry, or I guess adults too, but if you make X amount of kids scream or cry, then you're in the club and you can officially become a Krampus in the parade the next year. And it's a thing that still goes on. Like, they probably are doing it soon.
That's
Someplace in Germany that does that.
man. The Germans are
crazy.
awesome and weird all at the same time.
And they make all these beer styles that
Yes,
we
they
get to
do.
drink. So good
Thank
for
you,
us.
Germany.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Brian, thank you. That's happy holidays.
Hey, thanks. Merry Christmas to you and to Amber.
Amber, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank
And
you.
you too, Dolan. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you next week.